Introduction Volume 8 begins with Rudius receiving a new path forward after the lonely years following Eris's departure. A letter from Renoa Magic University arrives, and for the first time in a long while, the future starts to look like more than wandering and survival. As Rudius reads the invitation carefully, the idea of becoming a special student begins to settle in. This is not just school for him. It is a chance to cure his condition, find purpose, and reconnect with a more stable life. The journey toward Renoa carries a colder, quieter feeling than his earlier adventures. Instead of chasing monsters or fame, Rudius is traveling toward knowledge, healing, and a place where he might finally belong again. The snowy road leading to the academy makes the new setting feel grand and distant. Rudius is leaving behind the rough life of an adventurer and entering a world of formal study, nobles, magic theory, and hidden identities. When the towers of Renoa Magic University finally appear, the scale of the place is overwhelming. It feels like a city of learning, a place where powerful people gather and where Ruddy's next major chapter will begin. Event 1: Invitation to Renoa Magic University. Rudius begins his life as a student with a mix of curiosity and caution. Even after everything he has survived, entering a classroom again brings back old memories and old anxieties from his previous life. The formal class setting makes him stand out immediately. He is older than some students, much more experienced than most, and already known as a powerful magician before he even settles in. When Ruddy demonstrates his magic, the room reacts with shock. His silent spellcasting and massive mana pool are not normal student abilities, and this immediately marks him as someone exceptional. A glowing magic circle becomes the symbol of his new school life. Magic is no longer only a weapon for travel and survival. At Renoa, it becomes something to study, refine, explain, and understand more deeply. The other students watch him with a mixture of awe, curiosity, and suspicion. Rudius realizes quickly that being gifted does not automatically make school easy. It only makes him more visible. Event 2: Arrival at the Academy. Rudius's early days introduce the Academy's strange rhythm, lectures, experiments, magical tools, and unusual classmates. This is a place where talent is common, but everyone has their own secret or burden. He starts noticing the different groups around campus. Nobles, Beastfolk students, special students, and researchers all share the same halls, creating a lively but complicated social world. The Beastfolk girls, Linnea and Persina, quickly make a strong impression. They are confident, loud, and competitive, and their energy turns Ruddy's quiet student life into something much less predictable. Rudius also begins hearing about other unusual students and rumors on campus. Renoa is not a normal school, and every corridor seems to hold another person with a strange talent or hidden connection. The Academy's grand courtyards and shining buildings make Ruddy feel both impressed and slightly out of place. He has survived battlefields, but this world of status and student politics is a new kind of challenge. Event 3: Entrance and special student status. As days pass, he learns the school routine and begins finding his place. It is not instant happiness, but it is structure, and structure is something he badly needs after years of emotional drifting. In the library and study rooms, Ruddy starts rebuilding himself through discipline. Reading, note-taking, and experimentation become part of his healing process as much as his education. He also begins encountering the mysterious silent guardian known as Fitz. Fitz's presence is calm, controlled, and oddly familiar, though Ruddy does not yet understand why. The quiet moments around campus show how Volume 8 balances mystery with everyday life. Ruddy is making progress, but important truths remain just out of reach. The opening act ends with Ruddy standing inside a new world. Renoa Magic University is now his base, and the story is ready to introduce friendships, rivals, secrets, and emotional healing. Event 4: Meetings. Anobo. Again, Rudius's school life becomes busier as lectures begin properly. The academy is full of serious study, but also gossip, rivalries, and the constant pressure of being known as a special student. Teachers and students alike pay attention to him. He has already proven that his magic is abnormal, so every classroom moment carries the feeling that people are measuring him. Ruddy continues demonstrating advanced magic, and the reactions around him show how unusual his silent casting really is. What he treats as normal is astonishing to nearly everyone else. The academy is also filled with magical tools, creatures, and research subjects. This setting makes the world feel wider because magic here is not only used in battle but studied as a living discipline. Between classes, Rudius walks the bright courtyards and begins to understand the size of the institution. Renoa is almost its own little kingdom of scholars and powerful students. Event 5 Cliff, Illinois, and the student circle Linnea and Persina confront Ruddy with the boldness of people used to getting their way. They are funny and dangerous at the same time, and their presence gives the school arc a playful but tense edge. The Beastfolk girls try to push him around, but Ruddy does not simply fold. Their clash becomes one of his first real social tests at the academy. When the situation escalates, Rudius proves that he is not someone they can casually dominate. This moment changes how the other students look at him and begins shaping his reputation. Afterward, the surrounding students react with surprise and excitement. Ruddy's life at school is becoming public, whether he wants attention or not. The confrontation with the Beastfolk girls also shows a lighter side of the volume. There is conflict, but it is school conflict, shaped by pride, comedy, and social hierarchy rather than life or death danger. Event 6 The Mystery of Silent Fitz. Sonoba enters the story with his intense love of dolls and craftsmanship. His passion is strange, but sincere, and Ruddy quickly realizes that Zenoba is not a normal noble or a normal student. Zenoba treats Ruddy with deep respect because of his connection to the figurines and dolls he admires. Their relationship begins in an eccentric way, but it soon becomes one of the important friendships of the Academy arc. Julie is introduced as part of Zenoba's household and workshop life. Her presence brings out Ruddy's practical and protective side as he begins helping her learn and grow. The workshop scenes are quieter and more focused. Ruddy's knowledge, Zenoba's passion, and Julie's careful learning create a different kind of magic, the slow building of skill through patient instruction. At the same time, Ariel and Fitz remain important figures in the background. Their refined presence contrasts with Ruddy's awkward student life and hints at politics moving quietly beneath the surface. Event 7 Rudius and Fitz begin talking. Fitz watches Ruddy closely, carrying emotions that he cannot see. This is one of the most important tensions of Volume 8, because the audience can feel there is more to Fitz than Ruddy understands. Ariel's group adds elegance and danger to the academy setting. Their world is tied to nobility, exile, and future political struggle, even while Ruddy is focused on personal recovery. Ruddy continues walking the halls, making connections little by little. Every friendship and rivalry is part of the foundation for his new life in Renoa. By this stage, the academy feels alive. It is full of students, secrets, classrooms, research, jokes, and hidden pain, and Ruddy is slowly becoming part of the ecosystem. This section closes with Ruddy more settled than before. He is not healed yet, but he is no longer drifting alone. The school has begun giving him people, problems, and a reason to keep moving. Event 8 Beastfolk Challenge and School Reputation. A darker mystery enters the volume when Ruddy encounters the masked student known as Silent 7-Star. Her presence immediately feels different from the other unusual students at Renoa. The laboratory surrounding her is cold blue and filled with magical instruments. This atmosphere makes her feel less like a classmate and more like someone carrying a secret from another world. As Ruddy speaks with her, the conversation becomes tense. He senses that something about her is connected to the strange events of his reincarnation and the disaster that changed so many lives. The masked girl studies teleportation and summoning with obsessive focus. Unlike the other students, her goal is not fame, rank, or school success. She wants a way back home. When her identity begins to unfold, Ruddy is shaken. Nanahoshi is tied to his previous life, and meeting her forces him to face the fact that his old world has not completely vanished from this one. Event 9 Linnea and Persina's defeat. The shock hits Ruddy hard. He is no longer just dealing with academy problems. He is standing in front of someone who connects his past life, the teleportation incident, and the mysteries of this world. Nanahoshi's calm, distant personality hides deep loneliness. She is not trying to build a new life here the way Ruddy is. She is trying to escape this world entirely. Rudius sees that her research is serious and dangerous. The blackboards, diagrams, and glowing devices make the room feel like a battlefield of ideas rather than swords. Their meeting changes the emotional temperature of the volume. Ruddy now has someone who understands the idea of another world, but that shared connection does not automatically make them close. Leaving the lab, Ruddy carries new questions. Why was Nanahoshi brought here? What caused the teleportation incident? And what does his own reincarnation truly mean? Event 10. The Library Labyrinth and Academy Routine. While those mysteries remain, campus life continues around him. The contrast is important. One moment Ruddy faces world-shaking secrets, and the next he must return to ordinary student problems. Linnea and Persina remain part of the chaotic school atmosphere. Their bold personalities make sure Ruddy's life never becomes too quiet, even when deeper mysteries weigh on him. The school crowd begins reacting more and more strongly to Ruddy's reputation. Some admire him, some fear him, and some simply enjoy the drama he brings to campus. Rudius stands before the students and realizes that fame at school is its own burden. His power protects him, but it also makes him a person everyone watches. Then the volume grows even stranger when the immortal demon king Badigadi arrives at the academy. His huge presence instantly overwhelms the atmosphere. Event 11. Nanahoshi appears. Badigadi's entrance is loud, dramatic, and almost ridiculous, but there is real danger behind it. He is far beyond the scale of normal students and ordinary teachers. The crowd watches in disbelief as the Demon King confronts Ruddy. What began as school life suddenly turns into a public spectacle with a legendary being at the center. Ruddy prepares himself, knowing he cannot treat this as a normal challenge. Badigadi may be smiling, but the power difference feels enormous. A massive stone cannon forms as Ruddy gathers his strength. The image captures the contrast between the Academy's bright courtyard and the destructive force he can unleash. The stage is set for one of Volume 8's most memorable moments, a ridiculous, terrifying, and unforgettable demonstration of just how powerful Rudius truly is. Event 12. The Teleportation Incident Connection. Rudius fires his stone cannon at Badigadi with full force. The attack is overwhelming, and for a moment the entire academy sees the true scale of Ruddy's destructive magic. The impact is absurdly powerful, shattering Badigadi's body and stunning the crowd. The scene is both dramatic and darkly funny because the Demon King's confidence runs straight into Ruddy's mana. Badigadi's immortality turns what should be a horrifying defeat into a bizarre spectacle. The students are terrified and amazed, while Ruddy realizes that this world's powerful beings do not follow ordinary rules. The onlookers can barely process what they have seen. Ruddy's reputation rises again, but the result also makes him more uncomfortable with how much attention his power attracts. Badigadi, instead of being offended, treats the whole event with wild enthusiasm. His attitude transforms the duel from a threat into another strange addition to Academy life. Event 13. Research into summoning and teleportation. The Demon King's presence becomes part of Renoa's absurd daily rhythm. Volume 8 often works this way. Danger arrives, then somehow becomes part of the school's strange comedy. Even teachers and students must adjust to Badigadi's energy. The Academy is now home to nobles, beastfolk, prodigies, masked researchers, and an immortal demon king, making Ruddy's school life anything but normal. After the duel, Ruddy returns to quieter reflection. His power is useful, but every major event reminds him that strength alone cannot solve his deeper emotional problems. Fitz continues to appear at the edge of Ruddy's life. Their interactions are calm and gentle, but there is a hidden emotion beneath them that Ruddy still fails to recognize. A memory-like image of childhood friendship echoes behind Fitz's presence. This is the emotional mystery of the volume. The person Ruddy needs to reconnect with is already closer than he realizes. Event 14. Fitz watches Rudius from nearby. Ruddy's study life continues in parallel with these mysteries. He keeps working, reading, and researching, trying to improve himself one day at a time. His friends gather around magical experiments and shared curiosity. These scenes show how Renoa gives Ruddy something he has been missing, a community of people connected by learning and odd passions. Walking beside Fitz, Ruddy feels a quiet comfort he cannot fully explain. The bond between them is growing, even though the truth of Fitz's identity remains hidden for now. Magic glows in Ruddy's hands as he looks toward the future. Volume 8 does not solve all of his pain, but it shows that he is moving again, emotionally and intellectually. At night, the academy shines like a city of possibilities. Ruddy's new life here is complicated, strange, and full of secrets, but it is also full of hope. Event 15, Everyday Academy Life Expands. Volume 8 is the beginning of Ruddy's Renoa Magic University arc. It gives him a new setting, new classmates, new mysteries, and a new chance to rebuild himself after heartbreak. The volume is important because it changes the kind of story Mushoku Tensei is telling. Instead of constant travel, the focus becomes school life, relationships, research, identity, and emotional recovery. Nanahoshi brings the mystery of another world into the foreground, while Badigadi reminds us that powerful forces can appear even in a schoolyard. The arc feels peaceful, but danger and mystery are always close. Fitz's presence gives the volume its quiet emotional pull. Ruddy does not yet understand who Fitz really is, but the audience can feel that this connection will matter deeply. Volume 8 closes with Ruddy no longer alone. He has a school, new companions, strange rivals, and a hidden reunion waiting ahead. It is the start of a healing arc and the foundation for everything that follows. Event 16, Emotional Distance and Small Clues. Renoa Magic University gives Ruddy a new structure after the lonely northern arc. The academy is filled with students, teachers, research, and strange opportunities, making it feel like a place where he can rebuild himself. The campus is not simply a school setting, it is a social world with rules, rumors, rivalries, and people who are curious about Ruddy's unusual strength. Ruddy's special student status makes him stand out immediately. He is respected for his talent, but that attention also makes it harder for him to quietly disappear into the background. The Academy's magic, architecture, and constant activity give the volume a different energy from the previous one. The frozen loneliness of the North gives way to intellectual discovery and social pressure. This expanded event frames Volume 8 as a reset. Ruddy is still carrying personal wounds, but Renoa gives him a stage where healing, friendship, and mystery can begin again. Event 17, New Friends, New Goals, New Questions. Linnea and Persina are more than comic troublemakers. Their behavior introduces Ruddy to the rough social hierarchy of the academy, where strength, reputation, and pride shape student life. Ruddy's clashes with them show that he is not only learning magic, he is learning how to manage conflict in a school where many students come from powerful races and cultures. The Beastfolk girls test boundaries, and Ruddy responds with a mixture of strategy, irritation, and control. These scenes add humor, but they also establish his place in the school's social order. The dorm and classroom dynamics make the university feel alive. Students gossip, compete, and form alliances, giving the arc texture beyond the main mystery of Fitz. This expanded event helps explain why Volume 8 spends so much time on school life. The academy becomes a network of relationships that will matter for many volumes afterward. Conclusion. Badigadi's arrival reminds everyone that Renoa is connected to the larger world of demons, legends, and absurdly powerful beings. His presence breaks the ordinary school rhythm in a dramatic way. His huge personality shocks the students and forces Ruddy to respond in public. The encounter is loud and funny, but it also shows how Ruddy's reputation is spreading beyond normal academic circles. The confrontation tests Ruddy's confidence. He is powerful by student standards, but figures like Badigadi remind him that the world still contains ancient monsters and warriors beyond easy measurement. At the same time, the event brings the school community together as witnesses. Everyone sees Ruddy placed in a strange spotlight once again. By expanding this event, the deck keeps Volume 8 from feeling only like classroom setup. It also shows the larger fantasy scale returning through Badigadi's chaotic entrance.